How we doing, folks? It's Sunday night again, and it's another rendition of Audio Who to drive you round the bend. It is an outing for Tom Baker and Lou Jameson in the Fourth Doctor Adventures, Season 7, Story number 5 in The Shadow of London. We have an historical outing for Tom Baker's Fourth Doctor and the Warrior of the 17, set in what appears to be 1940s London. But is it all as it seems? You're about to find out. Before we get to that, let's get to this. It's your panel for this evening. Joining us from the inner sanctum of his own mind, it's Jake. How are we doing, Jake?
I'm doing fine. Welcome to my dominion.
Indeed. Hello, you. Joining us from Mass, it's Sue. How are we doing, Sue?
Peachy Keen, thanks for asking. I'm great.
Yeah, Peachy Keen, yeah. Okay. That fruit, nevertheless. All the way from down under, he has the thunder. It's Monday morning. AJ, how goes it, man?
Hey guys, freezing my bollocks off here.
There you go, mate. Good to see you. Let's start another miserable week. I hate Mondays. All the way from Tottenham, Phil Parker. How we doing, Phil?
Good evening.
Good to see you, mate. What about him, Phil? Come on. We need a bit entertaining. Dance, as they say. Oh, there's my I see Mr. Madeira. How goes it, Will?
Hey, now, how you doing, buddy?
Good to see you, mate. And down in the inner sanctum of his own hell, he has a beard that must be feeling. Enjoying his Sunday off. Texas Tim Wells. How goes it, Timbo?
Okay.
Well, there we go, yes. Thank God for Sunday TV. And of course, you all know me. So, yeah, we have the Doctor. We have one Warrior of the 17. We have 1940s, what appears to be London. We have Maddox. We have Hemmings. We have a spy caper that isn't all that it appears. We have a large city known as London, where it's pretty empty. And there's a reason why. Let's find out, shall we? AJ, open thoughts, mate. Tom Baker and Lou Jameson in The Shadows of London.
I actually didn't mind this story. It was, it felt kind of like a short trip, I guess. One of the short trips. It's short, it's sweet, and it's more or less directly to the point. So it was a good story for the both. We'll get more into the nitty gritty. But I really enjoyed this story. It was quite well done for how short it was and what it was.
Simple and to the point. Philip, you like these types of stories, what do you reckon?
It was okay, yeah. I'll echo AJ's sentiments that it was a nice short story and interesting, and it's self-contained as well. I like the idea that this is basically a training ground, but I wasn't quite sure why they wanted to convert a soldier into the creature that was in the actual story. It's like, did they want to make an army of these creatures to defeat the enemy?
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. Yeah, in a nutshell, folks, this is one last dire, desperate attempt by the Nazis to win World War II. You have a shadow city trying to basically pass itself off as London, and you have some genetic engineering slap bang in the middle of this shit when the higher ups are, shall we say, selecting the paintings to fuck off the Argentina. So, yes. Timbo, you're normally one for historicals. What do you reckon?
Well, that was good, but I don't think the payoff of the story actually suited the, what do you call it, the build-up.
Okay.
I thought that the build-up was excellent. I thought the payoff was a bit weak. It just kind of ended suddenly.
Yep.
And this is one of those rare occasions where I think you might have had an extra episode. It might have helped, at least in the way of like character development, because they make you feel like this guy's the villain the whole time. What was his name?
Hemmings.
Yeah, but then like the moral of the story is sometimes you got to do a couple of bad things to get the big picture. And I thought that was kind of like, wait a minute, we just heard him murder this poor woman for no reason. I mean, he really didn't have to kill her. So I mean,
yeah.
it was like they're trying to give you some ambiguity for the character and say, yeah, he's a bit of an asshole, but he was doing it for the good of the war or whatever. But I don't think it pays off. I think maybe had the story been slightly longer, you might have had more development for those characters, and maybe it might have made a little more sense. I think what happened was it's just like it's a two-part format, and you get to the end, and we got to end it. So that's it. You get my point?
Yeah, I totally understand the boat. I get it. It's a fair comment, fair criticism.
Overall, not bad though.
You know, I'll give you that. I mean, Hemmings played by Will.
Hemmings was played by Darren Boyd.
He done a good job. I had with an extra part, I gave him some redemption. You know, he's a double agent. He's basically supposedly, you know, he's an MI6 guy, supposedly on the side of the Germans, and
I guess what I'm saying is there wasn't enough time to rehabilitate his character where you actually cared for him at the end. You just kind of thought, well, good riddance, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it was like, okay.
I was surprised the doctor would moralize and say, well, you know, you got to break a few eggs, but it just didn't make sense to me. Otherwise, it's a good story.
It's one of the ones whereby you're sitting there going, okay, you're trying to justify the means here, but it's like, but I only killed one person. Really? Well, good for you. Moving on. Well, what do you reckon, mate?
You know, the first half of this story was a good mystery because you didn't understand what was going on, especially when the doctor's trying to find out what happened to the people in the city of London.
Yep.
Of course, later on he realized this is not London. But I'm a little bit I was very disappointed because in that first half, you had Maddox, you know, played by Catherine Bailey, being the eyes of the city.
For the cameras, yeah.
And the cameras. And then when you get to the second half, she's bumped off, so you don't know nothing. I'm like, whoa, what the hell? She got bumped up that quick. I said, that was a total waste of character there. A total waste.
Maddox could have been an interesting character. To be fair to Catherine Bailey, she still earned her paycheck by playing the monster, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah. If it would have been like Texas saying, like she was the one that created the monster, then she got her just desserts. But killing her off because supposedly she might have recognized that he wasn't really a German spy like that. Like that made no sense because she didn't make no assumption that he is not who he's claiming to be. She never mentioned that. She just mentioned, oh, I think I saw you, but but he was playing it off. No, I was in this unit. There's no way I could have met you. So it could have just took it off like that. But man, she got bumped up real quick. And she had, in the way, if you realize it, she really had no part in the fucking story. She played nothing, just being a little bit of a narrator because she was watching the cameras. And of course, when he showed up with Leela, that was it. I like, man, that was a total waste.
Maddox was a wasted character, I'll give you that. Catherine Bailey's a great actress. She obviously earned a paycheck here also by playing the genetic hybrid, the monster type thing. But you're like,
and another thing is, even though it's revealed, of course, that the monster was himself a human being that was transformed by the Nazis to become a weapon.
Yeah.
It really didn't explain how it was done like that. What kind of technology did it have to be able to do that? Considering, like the doctor was explaining, the pain that this soldier must have went through because of all the augmentation that went through him is a miracle that he's saying that he's still alive like that. Even though in the story we find out he is dying little by little because of the thing. But I'm like, you know, it's just a little nick. It could have explained how maybe the Nazis must have found something that's why they did the experiments like that. But they didn't really touch into it because the first half was great, such a mystery and a build-up to it. And like Texas said, the second half they went right to they had to finish it off real fast. So you know you didn't get into it. I'm not saying the story sucks, but if you're gonna do this and do it in a 1 hour storyline, you gotta break it down that it's a cohesive story because you wasted a good beginning and then you killed it off and wasted it in the second half that fast. And I wish they gotta stop doing that because if you're gonna have to make it a little 10 minutes longer like that, you're gonna have to start doing that.
Yes, sometimes it does pay off to go maybe an hour and 15 rather than an hour, just to give you a wee bit more context, and this might have helped here. What can you say? Sue, opening thoughts? And your own time.
Sorry, I was having trouble with my internet. It's a delightful story. Not delightful in terms of what the content was, but it was a well told story. I guess I agree with you guys that it could have been longer, but I really felt bad for the creature. I at first thought he was an alien too. I mean, I was right along with the doctor, and that was really amazing. And and fun.
Yep.
But the fact that Hemmings turned out to be MI6 was a trip. Anyway, I'll tell you more later.
All right. Yeah, and as well alluded to with regards to myself, decent start. First 30, 35 minutes, you had a nice mystery here.
Haven't done me yet.
I'll get to you, Jake, don't worry. But I will simply say another 10, 15 minutes might help this. And with that in mind, Jake, go for it. What do you reckon?
Justin Richards, for me, is a writer who can do some really good stuff, but he's for me, he's more known for playing it safe. And for this story, I thought was a play safe to me. It wasn't his best piece of work. It was good, but it didn't really invest me as much. I'll give it one mindfuckery point because it was a little ounce of mindfuckery with this little secret video, blah, 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 blah. But it didn't hook me at all. It was a good story, but it wasn't the best story in the world.
There you go, folks. Hashtag mindfuckery once again. Excellent. And with that, any events or characters, about 5 cast audio that stood out for you? Philip, anything stand out, mate?
Anything that stood out? You know what I liked? That, in regards to, what's he called? Hemingway? Hemmings? Is it Hemmings?
Hemingway. It's not a fucking poet. Hemmings.
Hemmings.
Hemmings. In regards to him, the clues were already there. As the doctor did say earlier on, he didn't speak like every other character in the complex.
They were up on a caricature, he wasn't, basically.
He wasn't, yeah. So the clues were there for him. He was out of the box, so to speak. So that caught on me straight away anyway. I thought, hang on, why is he speaking so straightforward? Everybody else is all using characterial words. And yes, in a sense, I thought he was a goody as well. I thought, and in a sense he was, because he was only doing what he was ordered to do to get through to the other side and do his spy work.
Yeah.
So I did sympathise with him. As Will said about Maddox, yeah, she was a bit of a short shift change. I thought there'd be a bit more to her, and I actually thought she was behind the surgical things as well, considering she was in this control room. And I thought she was thing. I like the byplay between the Doctor and Leela in this one, because it was very much like Leela's always grumbling, why you put me in these clothes again, and what is this and what is that, and what's
Are we going to see Mr. Jago again? Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. What is Big Ben and all this business? So I like that. In some senses though, Leela sometimes tends to be a bit dense, and by this time she should be a bit more clued up about her troubles with the Doctor. Still seems to be lacking with knowledge. Otherwise.
Okay. AJ.
Yeah, I like the fact that basically the Doctor is scolding Leela for not changing her clothes for the time period, yet he hardly ever changes for any other time period he stops off in. You might just put on a different hat or a different coat, but that's about it. He's incognito. I also like how Leela doesn't get, because I agree, that Sunday is the first day and the last day of the week. I hate how people say that.
Well, technically it is, even though, it's a day of rest, isn't it?
And I'd just like to say kudos on the sound design for the whole episode, plus the creature. The sound of the claws on the ground, the growling and all that. It was just really brilliant for the story, I thought.
I concur. Fair point of sound design on this. Will, anything stand out, mate?
Well, of course, Leela stands out because even though she's dressed appropriately, she still carries her knife with her, which is lucky for them she carried it. You also got to, even though it is revealed that he's part of MI6, Hemmings, of course, his character was very mysterious because as everybody was saying, we thought maybe he was a villain in the story.
Yep.
Well, he played his part pretty well. And of course, his big shock at seeing the TARDIS go away made it a little bit funny. And of course, the other actor, character, Fanshawe,
the red shirt of the story, yes.
Yeah, who was we thought he was a cop, but he wasn't a cop.
Who played him?
Timothy Spire.
Okay.
So it was pretty funny, especially when his time with the Doctor. That was pretty. they're pretty good together, funny. And of course, yeah, like you just said, yeah, he turned out to be a good red shirt, when it was needed. So it turned out pretty good there.
There you go. Excellent. Timbo, anything stand out, mate?
Well, I'd say I'd echo. I think what Philip and AJ said, that the banter between Tom and Lou is always very good. It never gets old, does it?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a pair of characters that back in the day never got along with each other. I mean, a pair of actors that kind of hated each other. And
a rocket to 18 months, yeah.
Yeah, and it was only for a year and a half, and yet here it is so many years later, and they've had 4 series now, and it just never gets old. I mean, it's that's one of the greatest things about the story, is just the way that they bump into whatever it is they're going to do, and it's always a bit of him, like AJ pointed out, poking fun at her, like, oh, you have to wear this now or whatever, or her just constantly, getting him back, saying that you're not as smart as you think you are. So that's always good. And I would also point out the music is good. I like how they don't try to always get the sound of the time. You know what I mean? They're just going to tell a story, and they don't try to capture the Dudley Simpson sound. They just try to go with something more contemporary or something more World War II-ish. So I thought that was good too.
Very good indeed. Sue?
I like the jeopardy that I felt with Leela. As she and Hemmings were in the tunnels, and I thought that he was leading her on a tour to bump her off, or to have a scrap down. I was seriously concerned for her well-being, and Leela's brilliant, and so I just enjoyed the heck out of this.
Okay. Dankeschön, meine Herren. Jake, anything stand out, mate? You know it was kind of bland for you?
Yeah. It was bland, but I love Thor and Leela in this story. It has to be my second favourite companion and Doctor together, next to Free and Joe. I just think they're superb together. I liked Maddox. I wish she stayed a bit longer, but instead she got twatted over the edge of the wrench. So, hey-ho.
Yeah, it was like a game of Kodo, wasn't it? Maddox killed in the basement with a wrench, yeah.
I agree with everyone else said it should have been longer, because it seemed rushed and all stuck together too quickly. That Maddox should have been in it a bit longer before she had a wrench stuck in her head, sort of thing. It's just a shame. It's sort of throwing away these characters that could have so much more to them, but it's sort of one of the downsides that I find sometimes with Justin Richards' writing. He's much better in stuff like Jago and Lightfoot than stuff he does in Doctor Who, sort of thing. And that's my final thoughts on that story.
Well, I'll say Cox to that. 55 minutes or so.
Philip got his hands up.
What's up, Phil?
Can I just say, this story did remind me very vaguely of the 8th Doctor story, Brave New World.
Why? How so?
Because of the self-contained fake village sort of thing. You remember how the Autons had their fake village that they had to try and live like humans?
Lucy Miller?
Yeah.
Season 2, story number 1, yeah?
And there's also one in Lethbridge Stewart.
Yeah, there's the Auton invasion, which the Doctor mentions. He mentions the Krauls.
Is that?
Oh, yeah.
The Crow. Yeah.
No, not the Auton invasion, the Android invasion.
The Android invasion, yeah.
That's what I remember. Okay.
That's a fair comparison, Phil. I totally forgot about that. So, yeah, we might get to that one day. Kind of mind if I've done that or not.
No.
No, well, we'll get to that at some point. The whole concept of the shadow town, mimicking London, and the last-ditch effort for the Germans to try and claw back the war effort, it was interesting. The double agents subplot with Hemmings. I don't want to say it was telegraphed, but you could have saw it coming. Maddox, wasted character, as the guys have alluded to, but hey, what can you do for 50 odd minutes? The creature, interesting enough. Some, biological engineering and not morally ethical. Bad Germans. But then again, I'm sure our Jewish friends will I testify to that and say stay away from the ovens. But I digress. And with that, open big portion of the cast. Anything else you want to bring up before we get this rated? And then I can, folks.
The only thing about Leela having to wear appropriate clothing for that timeline, I always assume that the Doctor's clothes is the filter. You don't really see what you're supposed to see. So that's why
You got a perception filter on him?
Well, perception clothes. I mean, look at Matt Smith. And everybody says
He was naked. There's a difference.
He's always naked, but he's always wearing. You get that kind of idea.
Let's go to church. Yeah, I'm naked. Yeah. If there's one thing you want to do to keep an old granny interested, go to church naked. And that's good.
I like how the fourth Doctor realized he needs to fix his TARDIS where he could get the coordinates correct where it lands.
Yeah, because they didn't know they were in Germany at first, did they?
No, they thought they were in London. Yeah. They thought they were in London. They thought it was Sunday because there was a lack of people. It turned out it was Tuesday, and then they went, yeah. So
for the lack of people, it's because the people that they're meant to bring into that place hadn't arrived yet. And by then they were
the trainees were still waiting to be arrive.
Yeah.
There wasn't even no birds there to feed nothing. There was nobody.
Yeah, fuck you, Moffat. No ducks in the fucking duck pond. Yeah. But yeah. I have to admit, I loved how they once again John Lucien gets the short end of the stick in this thing. Let's just leave him in the fucking library. Yeah. No, just leave him there. He might be having fun. He might be reading a book. You know.
No, it is strange that they continue to add stories to that series, and yet they leave him out of a lot of them. I don't know why.
Because you do tend to forget that he's even a part of that crew. Maybe.
Well, I mean, if they wanted to, they could make him earlier before he joins them. He joins them about halfway through Leela's run, and so there's some with and some without. It's just surprising that they keep building on that particular series and not using K9. I mean, he's always there doing something else.
That's kind of weird. I'm assuming they are suffering for the same problem that the fucking TV guys did at the time.
John Leeson.
It's too much of a get out of jail device, so
could be.
I don't know.
Yeah, and he would have. And to be honest, K9 would have sussed it out within a minute with the boundaries of the place.
Maybe he's just less effective on audio, I would say.
And possibly. Yeah, with John Leeson.
He was good in some stories of that season. Very good. Phantom of the Deep or something like that. That was a good story for him.
I like to have the Doctor only use his sonic only one time in this story. I liked it. That was pretty good. That stood up pretty good.
Okay.
Open the lock.
Open the lock.
Right, that was good. Nope.
No.
Well, with that, it's that time again.
FYI, for a great long marriage, make sure your wife is a good cook, a great fuck, and knows how to shut the fuck up.
Oh my God.
The views of women don't affect everybody.
Access?
Can we ask AJ when that's
That doesn't apply to some of us.
AJ,
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
okay.
Hang on. And there was a meatloaf there, AJ. Which one is the wife bad at?
Shut the fuck up.
And with that, guys, before the whole female gender comes down on us like a ton of fucking bricks.
Ow, dude, ow.
Yeah, no, you don't worry, sir. You're part of the
Sorry,
Molly
I'm kidding.
The Shadow of London, Season 7, Story number 5, Tom Baker and Lou Jameson. All right, Jake, what are you going to say at 10, buddy?
For me, a rehash of Android Invasion, just with Nazis, so I'll give it 6 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
Dang! Take that, Uncle Jesse. AJ, what's the number from Down Under?
I didn't mind the shortness and the sweetness of it, and the cast was pretty well on point. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I think it was a really good story.
We're bored off, mate. Thank you. Sue, what's the number from Mass?
I'll give it an 8.5 for the Jeopardy at Leela and stuff.
Okay, Alex Trebret notwithstanding. Philip, what's the number of Tottenham?
Well, because it was a self-contained story, it wasn't hard to follow, it was straightforward and easy. I'm going to give this a flipping 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10, running down corridors, just how Philip likes them. Yes! Why not? Timbo, what's your number for Techie Go, mate?
Yeah, I'll also give it a 8. I think it was a story that could have used a bit more to it. It might have been, could have been written better, I would say. But otherwise, it wasn't bad at all. It was good. So.
Okay. The general consensus seems clear here. Whoa, what's the number from NYC?
Well, I'm going to give it a 7.5. Like Texas said, it could have been a little bit longer, and it was a total waste of one character, so that's why I knocked it down.
All right, mate, I could totally concur. And for that waste of one character, I myself will give this a 7.5. I agree with Will. Just a bit more tightly knitting on the writing, and you might have had a better story here. But I digress. It wasn't bad. It's not bad for 50-odd minutes, and you know, Thor and Leela are always a dynamic duo. Fuck you, Batman and Robin. So, yeah. Sorry, Adam West and Burt Ward, but not too shabby at all. And with that done, dusted, finito, and in the can for the evening. It just leaves us to dive into what we'll be doing next Sunday. That is the turn of Pete Davison. It is the turn of Janet Fielding. And somewhat surprisingly, it is a turn of, once again, Lou Jameson. Yeah. As we tackle the somewhat slap bang in the middle of an arc in terms of TV for the Fifth Doctor.
Yes, it is.
And Philip?
We are going back to Gallifrey to spend time in office.
Time in office. The Lord President returns after the events of the Five Doctors, and some comedy ensues. So we'll give that a bash, and we'll see what the hell goes down. Please check out our buddies in the wonderful Wacky the World of the YouTube. We've got the guys and dolls that Geeks assembled with the TV, audio heads, and movie reviews. You've got Dr. Freedom, his news broadcasts, and his Omega Files, as well as the adventures of Dr. Freedom and Eric. You've got Johnny Boy, Sammy Carter, Mike Shannon, and everything online. Like, share, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down. We're getting the hell on out of here. It's time for beer. I've won some money this evening, so I'm quite happy.
Oh.
Yeah, don't get jealous, Phil. You don't look very good, Green. And with that, we're out of here. Be excellent to yourself, folks, and each other, and enjoy tonight's penultimate episode of Season 3 of Preacher.
Oh, forgot about
All the best, folks, and fuckity bye.
BC.